A meaningful life. Services for adults with developmental disabilities has changed a lot over the years. For 40 years, the Butler County Board of Developmental Disabilities offered programming to adults during the day called day habilitation services. Typically, there were only 2 options for them once they left high school. They could go to a center during the day, or they could stay at home. Many didn't work, although many were capable of working. If they did work, many times it was in a grouped setting known as a workshop. In the 90s, the Butler County Board of Developmental Disabilities began changing how it offered services to adults, and the day habilitation centers began to close. Services were instead offered in the community. People were given greater choice about how they wanted to spend their day. They could choose to work, to learn, to enjoy recreation, or to volunteer. By 2010, the board had consolidated its services for the day habilitation down to one building called the Liberty Center.
And we served about 127 people who came here Monday through Friday on various schedules, part-time and full-time schedules, and they participated in classes and clubs and some community opportunities. For a period of time, we had some work training opportunities here, and we provided services to a wide range of people with mild disabilities all the way to lots of care needs. And our goals for people were really to promote independence, to promote employment, to help people be engaged and active in their community, to help them express themselves through art and music, and to really have something that was meaningful to do during the day. But it was all based out of this program. So people came on buses or via transportation to this building, and they spent the majority of their time in this building.
Meet Joel. Joel began attending Liberty Center's day habilitation program in 2012. He had graduated high school and had moved out of his parents' house.
When you first meet Joel, you would think he's very quiet, very shy around people he doesn't know. But once people get to know Joel, he has just a really cute personality. He loves to joke around and be funny. He makes friends for life.
Joel moved into his own home in Oxford. A full-time caregiver supports him at home.
I think one of the things that he loves about living here in his own home is just he has his favorite chair, and he comes home after a busy day and he just plops down in that chair and he puts on his headphones, listens to his music on his iPad, and looks at pictures on the iPad. I think he just feels so comfortable here.
He is a member of Best Buddies at Miami University. He sings with the Best Buddies choir.
Music is probably the thing he likes the most.
When he was at Liberty Center, Joel did a variety of things during his day. He participated in job training, music, and recreation. In 2015, the rules changed. DD boards were no longer allowed to offer both day habilitation services and case management. The federal government said that was a conflict of interest, so the board made plans to close Liberty Center.
When families learned that Liberty Center would be closing, the plan for each individual was different because every person is different. So we gave everybody that attended here a year to find other options for day programs. There are lots of providers in this county that provide a similar service or something else to do. We had lots of people that were here that had various challenges for different reasons. Could have been medical, some behavioral kinds of concerns that didn't make it quite as easy for them to just pick up and find another provider. So it took some of our folks a lot longer to find programs, and some people were having trouble finding any program at all that was the right fit for them.
We found out that the Liberty Center was going to be closed. We were both really upset.
People at Butler County really, helped us and showed us how this process could work. And I think we did it together as a team. We worked together to come up with Joel's self-directed day.
There were a few people that we had to be sort of creative with because there wasn't one provider that could provide everything that they needed.
The shift in how a person spends their day and what services are offered to them centers around their choice. The Butler County Board of Developmental Disabilities believes that a person should direct how they want to live their lives. Employment is a focus. We believe that all people should be given the opportunity to show what they are capable of.
Joel was in that situation where he really couldn't find another provider that was the perfect fit for him. Employment for the individuals that we work with can look it could be a variety of things. It could be working in a traditional, at a grocery store, at a restaurant, at a factory, right alongside typical individuals. But for other folks, that doesn't really fit. So they for whatever reason, that's not the best option for them. They do have employment interests and employment goals, but they need something a little bit different. And for Joel, he really does better in a smaller setting, more one-on-one, and he is very social, so he wants the opportunity to interact with lots of different types of people throughout his day, not necessarily just work with the same few individuals. So for him, his employment looks different because he's almost self-employed, really, because he sort of has his own little niche business of vending, and then he also cleans at an office.
After Liberty Center closed, Joel began his new venture. His team calls it a day program without walls. He fills his week with working and volunteering.
Taking care of the vending machines, that was the center of what we put everything else around.
Right. He came to work and to do like janitorial things at Crane Tech, which is my company, and it's a small business, and he comes into the office on Tuesdays and Thursdays and does the trash. He likes to hang out. He likes to be around other people, so he gets to come in and say hello to everybody and have his lunch there, but he also does his jobs too, which is run the sweeper and take out the trash and do the recycling. So it's fun for me because my son gets to come, and actually he gets paid to do what he does. He gets to come and work for a few hours at the family business, and it's nice to have him there and let other people enjoy him too.
The vending piece really requires a whole bunch of planning beforehand. So he shops for his supplies. He also collects the money and does banking related to that. And he also has to promote his business, which is different for some of our folks. He has to sort of self-promote what he's doing. He asks for feedback from the individuals that work in the office where he has the vending machine. What kind of snacks do they want? He deals with maintenance issues, or his staff helps him deal with that. And so there's a neat little almost customer service component that really meets a need that Joel has too, to be social, to get some feedback from people about if his business is successful for them and if it's giving them what they want.
Joel is just one example of how a person's day could look. When Liberty Center closed, the individuals chose where to go and what to do. Some are now working. Some went to a new day habilitation provider. Some continue to make art and an income working at Inside Out Studio. Some have a combination of services.
In a typical day hab setting, people are grouped together with staff. In Joel's situation with his employment right now, he needs more concentrated staffing. So he has a staff that goes with him throughout his day while he volunteers and does his employment. And that is through his provider agency. The hope would be that eventually some of that could fade, possibly, and Joel could maybe just receive transportation to the site and at some point be able to independently do some of the things or take direction from community members. So the staff really helps keep him on track, keep him on schedule, and help him become more independent.
It's challenging with someone with Joel's needs to just know exactly what they want and how things are going. But if we judge that by how happy of a guy he is, I think he's in a pretty good place right now. So are we.
It's important to note that the funding follows the person, no matter what services look like or where they are offered. Although Joel is no longer attending a program provided by the Butler County Board of Developmental Disabilities, the funding and planning for his services still goes through the board.
When Joel attended Liberty Center, his funding was partially funded by the local taxpayers and then also Medicaid. And when the program closed, the same funding followed him into the community to work and volunteer and live in his home. And that's the same for all of the individuals that attended Liberty Center. The funding that was used to pay for this program then went with them to their new programs and helped support those programs. Local support is crucial to make sure that they're successful in their community activities. They need staff support to really actively participate in their community, and they also need the support of the team to plan that, and board employees are a big part of making that happen for individuals.
With people's support, it's allowed Joel to live an independent life. Without that, he would be, probably stuck in the house most of the time with either mom or dad. So that the support really not only frees up the person, but also the support person too. It really allows more than just the one person to have a good life. It allows the whole family to live a fulfilling life.
This video was narrated by Morgan Gattermeyer. I am an artist. I work at Inside Out Studio.